There's a lot of people that look back at what you said in 2019 when you first ran for president. And there have been changes, and you've talked about some of them. When it comes to immigration, you supported allowing immigrants in the country illegally to apply for driver's license, to qualify for free tuition at universities, to be enrolled in free health care. Do you still support those things?
Listen, that was 5 years ago, and I'm very clear that I will follow the law. I have made that statement over and over again, and as Vice President of the United States, that's exactly what I've done, not to mention before.
So you are a chameleon. So you are a chameleon. You are a chameleon. So instead of saying, nope, I don't support the same things that I used to support in order to get y'all vote, this time I'm switching it up because I need y'all to vote for me, so I'm going to say whatever it takes in order to get myself in office. You just say, you know what, that was 5 years ago, and I just made clear I'm going to follow the law. Okay, let's continue. We there.
If that's the case, you chose a running mate, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, who signed those very things into state law. So do you support that?
We are very clear, and I am very clear, as is Tim Walz, that we must support and enforce federal law, and that is exactly what we will do.
So
Brett got all pressure. Brett is all pressure. Jesus Christ, Brett. Good God, this is Showtime Lakers right here. Magic Johnson, James Worthy, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Decriminalizing border crossings, like you said in 2019.
I do not believe in decriminalizing border crossings, and I've not done that as vice president.
Yes, you have.
I will not do that as president.
So these are evolutions that you've had.
No, but let's be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted
transnational gangs and trying to stop the flow of fentanyl across the country. It's the same. Listen, she looking to where she can insert herself into these same talking points that we've heard 1,000 times. Listen, I'm the only person that's running for government that's prosecuted transnational gangs. I already know what she's going to say before she say it. Before you finish the statement, I already hear it.
Be very clear. I'm the only person who's running for president who has prosecuted transnational criminal organizations, from the Sinaloa cartel to the Guadalajara cartel to people who have trafficked in guns, drugs, and human beings. I have spent a significant part of my career going after people who present a threat to the safety of the American people and cross our border with the intent of doing us harm and cross our border illegally. And I will do that work as vice president. I take that work quite seriously.
This is a time when voters, especially here in Pennsylvania, are inundated with commercials and ads. They just want it to stop because it's every commercial. But many of them add noise, but a few of them seem to break through. This particular one from the Trump campaign has gotten a lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
I have not seen it past that point. So past the 10-minute mark is when I stopped it because I said that I wanted to review the rest of it with you guys. I did not see this. Come on, man. Hold on. They don't have visual references too. Jesus, Brett. What are you trying to do to this woman? Completely kill her whole political career? She wasn't expecting this.
A lot of attention.
Kamala supports taxpayer-funded sex changes for prisoners.
Surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. Every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access.
So are you still in support of using taxpayer dollars to help prison inmates or detained illegal aliens to transition to another gender?
I will follow the law, and it's a law that Donald Trump actually followed. You're probably familiar with, now it's a public report, that under Donald Trump's administration, these surgeries were available on a medical necessity basis to people in the federal prison system. And I think, frankly, that ad from the Trump campaign is a little bit of like throwing, stones when you're living in a glass house.
The Trump aides say that he never advocated for that prison policy and no gender transition surgeries
you know what? You got to take responsible for what happened in your administration.
Yeah, no surgeries happened in his pregnancy.
She's acting like a child now. Listen, Trump never advocated for it. He never was on board for it. However, let's talk about you for a minute. Do you support it? And she says, I'm just making clear I'm going to follow the law. I'm just making clear I'm going to follow the law. Now y'all see why it's so dangerous to elect certain people into legislative branches, and why voting not just for the presidential election, but for Congress members, for what happens in your state, your governors, your elected officials all across the board is so important, because they advocate for this. They push this through. They go across the United States of America, and they make sure that they push this in front of y'all and push this in front of y'all face and say, vote based off of this proposal, and this is what we're going to do. And as long as we can get support from Congress, and this is what we're going to do. And they continue to do this, and now they want to take their hands off of it and say, oh, I'm just following the law. No, you advocated for it, and that's why they presented you with the evidence of you on camera saying that you with it. No, you should not support sex change for prisoners, and we should not be using taxpayer dollars to do that. I don't know why that's so difficult. And you know what the worst part about it is? People that sit there and tell me that they Christian, people that sit there and tell me that they about God, people that sit there and tell me that they love Jesus, people that sit there and tell me that they Muslim, people that sit there and tell me all of these things, and then they'll turn around and say, no, but we voting for the Democrats. We voting for Kamala Harris, because it's not just her. It's all of these Democrats that's doing this demonic behavior and this demonic bullcrap. So then y'all will sit there and say, oh, she's all for love and peace. No, she's all for using your taxpayer dollars to do things that we don't want happening in our society. And so how can you be for us and against us at the same time? Even God says, I'd rather you be hot or cold, but lukewarm, I spit you out of my mouth. And all she can say is, you know what? I'm going to follow the law. Full court pressure, full court press.
It's in black and white.
Would
Not
you still
half court
advocate
traps,
for using
none of
taxpayer
that.
dollars for gender reassessment
I will
surgeries?
follow the law, just as I
you have a
think
say
Donald
in
Trump would
this.
say he did.
You would have a say as president.
Like I said, I think he spent $20 million on those ads, trying to create a sense of fear in the voters, because he actually has no plan in this election that is about focusing on the needs of the American people. Whereas, at $20 million on that ad, on an issue that,
it's pretty effective,
as it relates to the biggest issues that affect the American people, it's really quite remote. And again,
really? Y'all spend a majority of your time talking about reproductive rights. I think that people want to leverage their tax dollars to do something different than reassignment surgery in prison.
and his policy was no different. Look at where we are, though.
They say
On
it was
plans for
different,
the
but
American
we'll
people,
move on.
I'm offering a plan to deal with affordable housing. I'm offering a plan to deal with what we need to do to strengthen small businesses, which are the backbone of America's economy. I am offering a plan that is about taking care of young parents and giving them the support they need. My plans for the economy will strengthen the economy, as have been reviewed by 16 Nobel laureates, Goldman Sachs, Moody's, and recently the Wall Street Journal, which have all studied our plans and have indicated my plans for our economy would strengthen our economy, his would make them weaker, would ignite inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. Those are the facts.
Why do you think more people say they trust him on the economy than they trust you?
I think that when you look at an analysis of our plans for what we would do as President of the United States, it has been clear to those who study and understand how economic policy works that moving forward, because I do believe the American people are ready to turn the page on the divisiveness and the type of rhetoric that has come out of Donald Trump.
No. You can say what you believe, but the people have spoken, and en masse, on both the Democratic side and the Republican side, people are saying that they trust Trump to fix the economy versus what they've experienced with you and what your proposals are and your inability to explain exactly how we're going to pay for it. But people are saying that they trust Trump more when it comes to the economy, and that's just the facts. It doesn't matter what you believe. The people have spoken. They say that they trust Trump on the economy, and for good reason. You know why they say that they trust Trump on the economy? Because we actually was thriving in 2016 through 2020. It's just the facts. That's not my opinion. Everybody was getting money. They was clubbing. Club ain't even real no more. People don't even buy no bottles no more. Strippers are struggling. I ain't never seen no stripper struggle unless she aged out. The young ones are struggling. The young ones are struggling. Have y'all ever seen a young struggling stripper? It's crazy. You know what happens when a stripper starts struggling? They start doing things outside of the strip club. You got to do what you got to do to get what you want. They start acting like Diamond on Players Club. Pay me my money. They start acting like Diamond on the Players Club. When the recession hit, and y'all keep saying it's jobs, you know, I know a Chrysler worker. Y'all would call him Stellantis, but here in Michigan, we call him Chrysler. They supposedly had got this historic contract. You know what the first thing that Stellantis offered them? Y'all want to buy a Jeep Wagoneer, like my dog Slimmy said. Make sure y'all tuning in to After Hours tonight. They said, do you want to buy a Jeep Wagoneer? They sold him a Jeep Wagoneer. You know what he doing today? You want fries with that burger? You want cheese? Well done, no pink? I got you. They trying to go to school. They got 2 burger flipping jobs and all of that. People trust Trump on the economy because he wants to put Americans first. And so, yes, we want to go back to a time that was great. No, we don't want to continue to move forward with what we've experienced over the last 3.5 years. That's just the facts.
Trump people are ready to chart a new way forward, and they want a president who has a plan for the future and a plan that is sound and will strengthen our country. My plan for the economy does exactly that. His plan would be, again, to give tax cuts to billionaires and the biggest corporations in our country and blow up our deficit.
It's interesting you said turn the page, Madam Vice President. You were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said. I heard this one.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear. My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency. And like every new president that comes into office, I will bring my life experiences, my professional experiences, and fresh and new ideas. I represent a new generation of leadership. I, for example, am someone who has not spent the majority of my career in Washington, D.C. I invite ideas, whether it be from the Republicans who are supporting me, who were just on stage with me minutes ago, and the business sector, and others who can contribute to the decisions that I make about, for example, my plan for increasing the supply of housing in America and bringing down the cost of housing, addressing the issue of small businesses, which is about working with the private sector to bring more capital and access to capital to our small business leaders, including my plan for a $25,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers and for...
I already know what she's going to say, and then she probably going to say also her plan for the child tax credit is $6,000. Like, I'm trying to get to the meat of it. That's why I'm just letting it play out.
Small businesses, extending the tax deduction from $5,000 to $50,000.
We've heard a lot about those plans in recent days. Your campaign slogan is a new way forward, and it's time to turn the page. You've been vice president for 3.5 years, so what are you turning the page from?
Well, first of all, turning the page from the last decade in which we have been burdened with the kind of rhetoric coming from Donald Trump that has been designed and implemented to divide our country.
So wait a minute, let me get this straight. We had unprecedented peace and prosperity. The 2 P's. It's actually a 3rd P that go in there. I'm just not sure it's appropriate for the Millionaire Morning Show. We had unprecedented peace, prosperity, and let's just say box. And the ladies was happy too because they didn't have to sell it for $40. No more $40-ing. Women were thriving. They was making money. They was getting to the bag. Running up them student loan debts. Getting their social work on, getting their nursing degrees. They was the most enrolled and the most in debt, but they was having a good time. No $40. No $40. Everybody was getting it. It was unprecedented peace, prosperity, and box. Nobody was selling box. Box wasn't really popping like that at that time. You know what I'm saying? Now everybody is on OnlyFans. Everybody is on OnlyFans now. I don't know why. I don't know what's happening. I can't understand it. Property taxes is up. Taxes is up. Income is down. Inflation is up. Groceries is up. Everything is up. And she talking about from the rhetoric. Man, I don't care about no rhetoric. I don't care if y'all cuss each other out yesterday to Sunday to today. The only thing I care about is what my pocketbooks look like, man. What money are you spending and are you making it rain?
And have Americans literally point fingers at each other. Rhetoric and an approach to leadership that suggests that the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down instead of what we all know. The strength of
lift up. It's not about who you break down. It's about who you lift up.
Leadership is based on who you lift up. The strength of an American president, which is one who understands that the vast majority of us have more in common than what separates.
This is all empty BS. And this is the thing I don't like. That's that I don't like. This is that thing I don't like. It's all empty. It's not about who you bring down. It's about who you lift up. It's not about who running on a problem instead of finding a solution. It's not about, like, this is all unburdened what has been undone by who is going. This is all silly nonsense. We want real solutions. Listen, no more. Hey, what you got? She said, black man, I got some weed for you. Okay.
Madam Vice President, more than 70% of people
that is about turning the
pollsters,
page on rhetoric that people are frankly exhausted of, Brett.
More than 70% of people tell the country is on the wrong track. They say the country is on the wrong track. If it's on the wrong track.
I wasn't aware of this. This is from the Marquette Law School. Woo!
That track follows 3.5 years of you being vice president and President Biden being president. That is what they're saying, 79% of them. Why are they saying that? If you're turning the page, you've been in office for 3.5 years.
Presser.
And Donald Trump has been running for office.
But you've been the person holding the office.
Wait. Hey, somebody told me in here that she did well. When I went to my Instagram feed and I checked Facebook for the first time in 7 months, somebody told me that she did well. Did this woman just literally say, and Donald Trump has been running for office? When answering the question of 80% of people saying that the country is on the wrong track, and you've been in office for the last 3.5 years, did she literally just say, and Donald Trump has been running for office? Oh my God. I cannot. This is my first time seeing this. I'm seeing this for the first time, y'all. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Hey. It's some of y'all that's watching this right now that got wives. We're going to take a smoke break. And we're going to come back to this because we got to read a couple super chats. We got to pay some bills. There's some of y'all in here that got wives that's secretly going to the ballot box and is still going to vote for Kamala Harris. Hear me and hear me clearly. Some of y'all got wives that are secretly still going to stroll to the polls and because it's their sorority sister. And some of y'all wives are looking for a masculine man to stand on business and to hold you down and to tell you what to do and control your life and say, hey, baby, you ain't got to work no more. You can just come and work for me or you can stay home with the kids. And he is going to go and vote for Kamala Harris right after he tuck his balls in with his G-string. Y'all going to have to get these people in order and get them in line. Get them in order and get them in line. There's no way that we should be sitting here discussing who is better for America, what this woman just said. And Donald Trump has been running for office. Come on, y'all. Y'all gonna have to get y'all people in order. Listen, there's some of these old folks, we can't help them. That's Clinton's era. That's Bush era. That's even Obama's era. They voted for Obama because they couldn't wait to see a black man in office, and look what he gave you. He gave you men going into women's bathrooms and using them in urinals. But we got to wake up. Come on, y'all. Get up off the plantation. Get off the plantation. Get off. Get off the horse. They going to take you to go and fight some mandingo over there. Get off. Don't do it.